I drove in from, well, I've been on this tour 25 cities in 35 days, and it's been one of the greatest experiences of my life because I get to really meet the people who make our business what it is, and that's you people here. So I thank you guys for taking time away from your homes tonight, time away from your family, braving the weather, right? Every one of us had a choice not to be here tonight. In fact, if you watch the news, every one of us, was like, are we supposed to go out or not, right? But I want to thank you guys for braving the weather to get here. It's really important to me and my family. So I thank you guys very much for taking that time. I'm here tonight because our company is right about to embark on a global plan where we're launching additional countries. In fact, we plan to launch 2 this year. We're already in the United States and Canada. But what's most important to me is not just thinking globally, but acting locally.
All right.
And so when we were looking at what ViSalus stands for and how we were going to build this business and how we're going to build it long term, myself, Nick, and Blake have the privilege of being young. And so our time horizon is 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We realize the size of the problem obesity is in America and Canada, the 2 markets that we serve currently. We realize that we have a big fight here in our own backyard for a long time to come before we just go out there and expand globally. So we're here today to give you tools, train you in the New Body by Vi 90-Day Challenge. I guess I'll start by saying I'll answer any questions you have at the end of the event. Shake your hand, take pictures, whatever you want to do. But I'm here today as the CEO of the company to hopefully share with you kind of the values of ViSalus, who we are, what our mission is, and if that sparks a chord within you and maybe something that you think you could find yourself doing and contributing to, whether it be by just taking responsibility for your own health, or by helping take responsibility for your family's health, or maybe your community's health, or maybe your town, or your city, or your county, or your state, or maybe eventually your country. And as myself and all the other leaders that are here in the room, maybe eventually you'll start to take responsibility for the world's health. And I know that's a big thing to ask of you right here, because a lot of you are saying, I just came out here tonight to learn how to lose a couple pounds. And that's awesome, because that's the first step. When the elections were occurring, I know many of you were deeply a part of that, because we were marketed to more and more and more than ever. You guys remember all the ads during election season, right? Regardless of your politics, how many of you guys remember, like every time you turned on the news, you had like 20 different ads, right? And there was a common theme in those ads, which was kind of vote for me and we'll take care of your health care one way or the other. Or vote for me and we'll fix the unemployment situation. Or, a message on both sides of politics that was really not saying, take control of your own health, take control of your own income, right? If you need a helping hand, look at the one at the end of your wrist, right? That wasn't the messaging, right? And it was really bothering me because in our society, we have a lot of families that are suffering, and I know a lot of families all around you guys are suffering from illness as it relates to obesity, and illness as it relates to just families not taking responsibility. So I'm here today to enlist some of you guys in a cause, really, to help end the worldwide obesity epidemic by thinking locally, by taking responsibility for our own health, taking responsibility for our family's health, and then those in need, and getting out there and educating the community and providing simple solutions to obesity. Now, not many of you are looking at me right now and you're saying, why is this skinny white kid talking to me about obesity? Right? See, I got some supporters in the audience here. I was once 260 pounds, okay? Now, that was right at the level of obesity, so meaning I know what it's like to be heavy. And I used to play football when I was a kid, and so being heavy was a good thing. But unfortunately, when I got focused on my career, that 260-pound frame that I had built turned into a lot of fat. And I was 24 years old, I'll never forget it. I bent over one day, and my back went out. Now, any men in the house here ever throw out their lower back? All right, you guys know what that feeling's like? I mean, I broke this hand 5 times. I was a rough kid. I would give you my pinky finger in exchange for never having to throw out my back again. That's how bad it was, right? Throwing out my back. Some of you guys are nodding. Let me just give you an example of how bad it was. I'd throw out my back, and I'd spend the next hour figuring out how to get to my bed on my knees. And then after I got in my bed and finally got off my back, then if I wanted to use a restroom, I'd have to spend another hour just going 10 to 15 feet to the restroom to figure that out. Some of you guys are smiling because you know. And this is one of the smallest things that happens when you're obese and you're carrying too much weight is you start having to compromise your life. And one of the things we have in ViSalus is it's not how much you have to lose, it's how much you have to gain. Now, you know, I was still pretty confident, 260 pounds, but what did I gain? Well, you know, since I lost the weight, I don't throw out my back anymore. I don't have to compromise my life. I have the highest energy I've ever had in my life. I'm able to do, you know, 25 cities in 35 days, and I'm able to, you know, have a lot of fun in the process. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these health fanatics, these people that carry around like medicine cabinets with them everywhere they go. I was raised on meat and potatoes. My dad's from West Virginia. My mom's from Los Angeles. So, you know, I'm not here today to preach to you about, you know, growing an organic farm in your own backyard and making sure that you pick your own vegetables every single day. Although I believe that's a wonderful thing if you got the land to do it, but most people don't have the land or the time to take care of their own organic farming and everything else that, you know, great health would tell you have to do. So we invented some simple solutions that help you get great health. They're fast, they're affordable, they taste good, and really what we like to say is we created healthy fast food for everyday people like all of us in the room that need it. And so the reason why I was overweight was simple, food. I liked fast food. Man, I love pizza. I tell you, that's my go-to. And pizza was fast, and therefore I'd order it all the time when I was working 10, 12 hours a day, 2 jobs in the household, looking at a third job, trying to build my company. Many of you guys are nodding because you know what happens when you have to work more, commute more, take on 2 jobs. You start having to compromise something, right? And what's the thing you compromise? Well, anything that takes time. So food is one of them. So we invented healthy fast food that's affordable, and as you guys saw in the presentation, you know, it's $1.80 a meal, right? So it's a lot better than McDonald's or a lot of the other unhealthy fast foods that you can get your hands on. Our company did $600+ million in sales last year, $97 million in profit. It's the fastest growing company in our sector for the past 3 years. We went from really 0 to $600+ million in sales in 3 years' time. And I have the privilege to lead this company. I'm going on my 8th year in March. So I've been working at this for 8 years, and I have the privilege to lead this company, you know, with that vision of thinking globally and acting locally. And I'm you know, really proud to be here with you today. What else can I tell you? Since we're in the house of God, I'll tell you I'm an extremely spiritual man. I'm a Christian, and I'll give you a story of spirituality that's a very passionate one to me. 18 months ago, my mom climbed up a flight of stairs, and she fell down. They found her 10 hours later, and they had to air-vac her to a medical institution where she had to have brain surgery for 10 hours. She had tubes coming out of her head, tracheotomy, feeding tube. And for 18 months, we had her on life support where she was in a coma. We didn't always know if she was really in a coma or not because her eyes were always dark around the room and stuff, but we could never get her to respond. So we always kind of prayed and hoped that she's in her head hearing about what we were telling her. And so we go visit her and tell her every day, you know, what we're up to. And so for 18 months, you know, when I got to experience that, that was about the same period of time when ViSalus started skyrocketing, right? So I kind of had the best of both worlds, like a great, humbling, grounding, you know, thing I had to focus on as the leader of my family, alongside of the leader of a big company with thousands of full-time ViSalus promoters, and you know, in a company that went from about 100 employees this time last year to 500. In the meantime, I had to go to court to be able to get custodianship of my mother, and I remember I used to have to go fight these judges and fight the system, and I used to have to pay $1,000. I still pay $1,000 a day. But at the time, I was just paying $1,000 a day to keep her on life support, right? Because she didn't have insurance that would cover that extensive of support that she needed. And October the 22nd, I got permission to take my mom off life support from the courts. And I would pray every single day. I'd beg God for mercy, because I didn't want to see my mom in that pain, or a miracle. And as time went on, I was just hoping for mercy, because I didn't want to be the person to pull the plug, right? So, you know, I pray every single day and all the time, and I would just say, just give me mercy so I don't have to do this. So November the 10th, I walk into my mom's hospital bed, and I'm telling her about my end-of-life plan. I'd actually already written her obituary. This is just November. I'd already written it. And I'm telling her about my end-of-life plan for her. I'm going to remove the suction from her lungs, the feeding tube, and, you know, we're going to let God have his way. And I look at her eyes, and she's a little different. And this time, I look at her and I say, blink once for yes, twice for no. And she blinks once for yes, twice for no. And then my next question was, do you want to live or die? Because, you know, I've been dying to know myself. Like, I do not want to be the person. If she's in her head screaming the whole time, Ryan, I want to live, right? But I don't want to be the person to do that. And she blinks and she wants to live. Now, today, just before I got on this road trip, a few days ago, I think on day 10, I got to take my mom and have her first dinner with her. So, the story didn't come home, if you guys want it. But so I got to take her and have this dinner. And she's in this care facility, and she's able to talk now. We got her tracheotomy removed. And the next step to getting her off complete life support is she's got to learn how to eat again, right? Because we got, you know, life support, she still has a feeding tube. Believe it or not, there's like what looks like a bag of our shape just hanging on this feeding tube at all time, if you've ever seen it. So every day I go in there and I'd be like, there's got to be a better shape in that bag that we can make. Got to sit down with her, wheeled her out, and there was these other ladies that were there that were also in rehabilitation. One of them was probably in her 80s, and I'll never forget because she was really talkative, and a little bit, she was a little bit wacky. And I'm sitting there with my mom. I'm a mama's boy, and I'm sentimental, and I'm feeding her meal. And the last time I ever fed a person her meal was I have a 4-year-old person a meal. It's my 4-year-old son, right? So it was a bit like I felt like, wow, I'm coming full circle. This is the way my mom used to have to feed me when I couldn't eat for myself, and I'm now feeding her. And this woman just keeps talking to me. Just keeps talking to me. And I'm gracious, I'm like, well, thank you, and just trying to spend some time with my mom here. And she asked me, I don't know, did you guys talk about the I Lost It campaign? The New Body by Vi Challenge? You guys, anybody wearing this shirt where it says I lost it? So this woman asked me, what'd you lose? And there's like 3 women at the table, and my mom's like, you lost weight. And then the other woman looks at me and she goes, well, they say I lost it too. And next thing you know, we're having this conversation about how... True story. So just to show you what a spiritual individual I am, I think God has a plan for me, because here I am. I had no idea. I thought I was there to talk to my mom and feed her first dinner in 22 months of being on life support. And here we are talking about my company's marketing campaign and the I Lost It concept, and how conversational it is for all types of people and walks of life. Yeah, I don't even know, I have this thing called ADD, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I don't even know how I got to that story about my mom and the I Lost It t-shirt, but something was in me something called me to talk about it here today with you guys. So, so nonetheless, to get back on track, we launched this new challenge. It's called the New Body by Vi 90-Day Challenge, where if you lose 10 pounds, and I have 10 pounds to lose because I put on 10 pounds over the holiday. If you lose 10 pounds, we give you an I Lost It t-shirt. And we budget to have 50,000 of these around the US and Canada this year. People probably losing 10 pounds on the new challenge, or added 10 pounds of muscle, or any combination of losing fat and adding muscle that they need to do in order for them to be a part of what we call Project 10. So I'm proud to announce the new challenge, to launch it with you, just like we did 3 years ago. I don't know, last time I was in South Carolina, it had to be about 3 years ago. Last time I was out, doing a campaign like we are today, launching the new challenge, had to be about 3 years ago. So it's exciting times for all of us. Every single one of you has an amazing opportunity, just like the leadership that you heard and the great stories. The way I look at it is we had a campaign on the first challenge for 3 years. They created a lot of success for a lot of people, helped a lot of people lose a lot of weight, helped a lot of people get great health in their family, and helped a lot of people earn wonderful financial rewards simply by helping people, right? And now we have the next 3-year campaign that I'm here to kick off with you here today. So that's it for me. I'll stick around and answer any questions you have or shake hands with you after the event's over, but I want to say God bless you guys and thanks for coming out tonight. Thank you very much.